Yahya Sinwar was more than just a leader. He was Hamas. He embodied its fight, its anger, and its unwavering commitment to resistance. From his days as a student activist to his rise through the ranks of the militant group, Sinwar cast a long shadow over the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Born in a refugee camp, Sinwar understood hardship. He witnessed firsthand the struggles of his people, fueling his desire for change. His journey, however, took a radical turn, leading him down a path of violence and armed struggle. Sinwar's belief in armed resistance was absolute, shaping his tactics and cementing his image as a hardliner. His time in Israeli prisons only solidified his resolve. Years of confinement transformed him into a symbol of defiance, a living martyr in the eyes of his followers. Upon his release, Sinwar's stature within Hamas soared, eventually placing him at the helm of the organization in Gaza. Sinwar's leadership marked a turning point. His strategic cunning and uncompromising stance set the tone for Hamas's future. His death, therefore, sends shockwaves through the region, leaving a void that will be difficult to fill. The news of Sinwar's demise spread like wildfire. The location itself, a seemingly impenetrable bunker, only added to the shock. This wasn't just another targeted strike, it was a surgical operation. A message delivered with deadly precision. Details remained scarce, shrouded in the fog of war. Israeli sources, tight-lipped as ever, spoke of a complex intelligence operation, years in the making. The message was clear: no one is beyond their reach. The location of the bunker, deep beneath the teeming streets of Gaza, spoke volumes. It was a symbol of Sinwar's authority, his grip on the levers of power. Yet it also highlighted his isolation, his distance from the people he claimed to represent. The fact that he met his end in such a secure location raises questions. Was he betrayed? Or had Israeli intelligence simply outmaneuvered Hamas at every turn? Whatever the answer, Sinwar's death in that bunker serves as a potent symbol of the shifting power dynamics in the region. In the aftermath of Sinwar's death, a familiar script played out. Hamas, quick to capitalize on the moment, hailed him as a martyr, a hero who gave his life for the cause. His image, plastered on murals and shared across social media, became a rallying cry, a symbol of resistance against Israeli aggression. Israeli accounts, predictably, painted a different picture. They spoke of a ruthless terrorist responsible for countless deaths. They emphasized his role in orchestrating suicide bombings and rocket attacks, highlighting the indiscriminate nature of his violence. The truth, as always, lay somewhere in between. Sinwar was a complex figure, shaped by the brutal realities of the conflict. He was both a product and a perpetuator of the cycle of violence that has plagued the region for decades. To understand Sinwar's legacy, one must look beyond the simplistic narratives presented by both sides. It's a tale of resistance and extremism, of a man who fought for his people but lost his way in the process. His death, while a blow to Hamas, is unlikely to change the underlying dynamics of the conflict. Section 4, A World Divided. The international community, as expected, responded to Sinwar's death with a predictable mix of condemnation and cautious silence. Western powers, while acknowledging Israel's right to defend itself, expressed concerns over the potential for escalation. Arab nations, caught between their official stance and public sentiment, issued carefully worded statements. Some condemned the killing, while others maintained a studied silence, wary of upsetting the delicate balance of power in the region. The United Nations, in its usual fashion, called for restraint and a return to negotiations. Their pleas, however, rang hollow, drowned out by the drums of war beating louder than ever. The death of a figure like Sinwar, a man who evoked such strong emotions on both sides, was never going to be met with a unified response. If anything, it served as a stark reminder of the deep divisions that continue to plague the international community's approach to the conflict. Section 5. The Unending Conflict. The death of Yahya Sinwar will not end the conflict. It will not bring peace to the Holy Land. If anything, it has the potential to exacerbate tensions, pushing the region closer to the brink. Hamas, wounded but not broken, will seek revenge. Their rockets will continue to rain down on Israeli cities, met with swift and brutal retaliation. The cycle of violence, a seemingly endless loop, will grind on. The only certainty in this conflict is uncertainty. Sinwar's death, while significant, is but a single event in a long and bloody saga. The root causes, the deep-seated grievances that fuel the conflict, remain unaddressed, until there is a genuine commitment from both sides to break free from the chains of history, to pursue a just and lasting peace. Men like Sinwar will continue to rise and fall, their lives and deaths merely footnotes in the unending tragedy of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.